Lumber Liquidators PBA Tour on ESPN is brought to you by Bayer. The more you know, the more you trust Bayer. By Prescription Flomax. By CLR. CLR. All kinds of dirty, one kind of clean. And by the United States Bowling Congress, ensuring the integrity and protecting the future of the sport of bowling. Bowl with us.
Detroit, home of the big three automobile companies, GM, Ford, Chrysler. Wes Malott, the big 2 seed here to take on number 5 seed Mike Machuga as you take an updated look at the bracket for the Chameleon Championship. We are in Taylor, Michigan, named after Zachary Taylor, the 12th president of the United States of America.
Did you just make that up?
I did not. That is a fact. I have another great fact about Detroit for you a little bit later. I know you're excited. There's Malott, and here's Machuga. Starts the way he began match number 2 with a strike.
And don't think that your tournament leader, Bill O'Neill, and Wes Malott haven't been watching what's going on. They came over and threw practice balls, and I guarantee you they tried to find something to the outside part of the lane. So let's see where Wes Malott tries to attack the Chameleon pattern. How about out?
You like that strategy? I mean, it worked right there.
If you look at where the other 2 players that played way in shot, I mean, 188 by Brian Kretzer, 190 by Sean Rash, 2 great inside players. Wes Malott, he's a great inside player as well, but he figures he's got a better shot at trying to get around the area where Mike Machuga is playing.
Malott made 6 televised appearances last season for the 2nd consecutive season, which matched his career high he set in 06-07. This is his 2nd of this season. And his 2nd strike of this match. 10 top 8 finishes last season, tied for most with Chris Barnes and Walter Ray Williams Jr.
Don't call him the Big Nasty.
I think it's one of the better nicknames, if you ask me.
I like it.
I guess it's a good break.
Machuga opened up match number 2 with 6 straight strikes. Will not duplicate that here in match number 3. But again, I'm sorry, but again, it's a single spin spare that he has to deal with.
Because he trips the 2-pin late. So, yeah, avoiding those splits and single pin spares, that's the object if you don't hit the pocket. Right now, Mike Machuga, he's got a little competition early on. Wes Malott's decided to play a little bit closer to where Mike is, albeit he's left on the approach, circling a little bit more. Mike Machuga, I guarantee you, he's thinking about that in the back of his mind. And trip 2.
That one looked like he was going a little further right. That's kind of what we saw in match number 1.
Yeah, it wiggled a little bit down lane and didn't get up into the pocket, but again, a huge break there. And, you know, your opponents don't like that. When you start tripping 2 pins and going Brooklyn for strikes.
We haven't seen too many bad breaks today at all either.
Well, we've seen a few of these.
Yeah.
And Wes Malott just turned his back on this one as soon as he let it go. This ball looked like it was in the right zone. It just didn't have any hand in it, so it never responded down the lane. You see how you go about making the 1-2-4-10. And I believe the guys are 100% on the washout today. Mike Machuga made one in the first match, as well as Sean Rash.
Everybody else has done it.
Oh, did he play that well?
You hear him? He gave it the shout out. Everybody else has done it. So you saw Wes Malott go to the tape, and he goes to the tape a lot. He carries a pocket knife with him. He's constantly messing with that thumb hole, man. He's got to have it just right. So let's see how this shot is out of his hand. Well, I believe that's 7 more than I think he thought he was going to get. Now, it's one thing if you're going straight up the 1-2 board. It's another when you're throwing it into that direction. And I thought for a minute that ball had a chance of going in. As you see how do you make the 3-6-10.
We saw in match number 1 where Machuga beat Rash 196-190. The chameleon oil pattern really kind of had both of them guessing, maybe about through the first 50% of this match. Match number 2, it seemed like they both had it figured out, Kretzer and Machuga. And match 3, it's back to the...
Oh, no.
Oof. Back to the board again as they're trying to really get a better grasp on this thing. An open frame there for Malott in the 4th. We're going to remember that one. So Malott started strike, strike, then went spare, open frame. Machuga, strike, spare, strike. Here he is in the 4th. Eye on that one.
Well, as the lanes transition, shots tend to change. This is just a little bit left to target with a little bit more hand than he wanted. The good news, he only leaves the 3-6.
Talked about the oil. Let's talk about it further detail. Lumber liquidators know the wood.
Well, it's 40 feet. The chameleon pattern resembles a retro approach to pattern design where the oil is applied in strips and requires bowlers to play in a specific zone on the lane, most of the time deep inside. We only had one 300 game this week, that by Dino Castillo.
That oil, 40 feet long, as that graphic showed you, but applied in strips.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I wasn't listening.
Kind of.
Were you talking? I have a tendency to zone you out sometimes. You bore me.
Man, what is going on here?
Big challenge here for Machuga.
Well,
and now it almost looks like the zone that Mike Machuga's in, he needs to now down shell or go to a ball that's not as aggressive so that that ball will hold its line to the 1-3 pocket. And a great opening for Wes Malott.
After Malott gave Machuga an opening with the open frame.
We like to call this a seesaw match, Rob, in the biz.
Is that another bowling term I need to learn and put down on my cheat sheet? Seesaw match.
Actually, that's a universal phrase.
I'm going to put that right next to bucket, baby split, and clean game.
You could use that in a multitude of sports, but we're going to use it for today.
Gotcha. Malott in the 5th, up 6. And the chess match continues.
Spent some time with Wes Malott in Asia over the summer. Him and I went to Okinawa, Japan, Kadena Air Force Base, and put on a show for the men and women of our armed forces. And he was just a great guy to be around, and we had some good times, some good laughs, played a little golf, and did some bowling and some instructional clinics. Had a great time.
Malott, his 4th strike. And 2nd in a row. And as we head to break, Malott takes a seat with some much-needed momentum. Open with the pair, is closing with the pair as we go to break. When we return, the conclusion of Machuga, Malott.